Good morning, everybody. Let's stand together and sing our gathering song, Come, People of the Risen King.
To bring him praise, all into your hearts to sing to the morning star of grace. From the shifting shadows of the earth, we will lift our eyes to him, where steady arms of mercy reach to gather children in. Sure we hear them call the truth that cries through every age. Our God is all in all. Rejoice, rejoice, let every tongue rejoice. One heart, one voice, O Church of Christ, rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice. Let every tongue rejoice. One heart, one voice. O Church of Christ, rejoice.
Amen. You may be seated.
Good morning, Arden Presbyterian Church. It's good to see those of us who could gather in person on this beautiful snowy morning, and for those who are able to join us virtually online, we're glad that you're here as well, and that we can, as the Church of Jesus Christ, gather in His name and rejoice in all the blessings that He has provided for us. Let me encourage you to turn to page 8 and 9 of your worship bulletin for the announcements section there. I'll just highlight a few announcements for you there. If you are visiting with us for the first time today, perhaps as a guest here in person, we have a gift for you that we'd love to share with you after the service at the sanctuary, at the Welcome Center table located, I believe it's outside this morning. Can someone confirm that? We'll just say it's out there, so please see the friendly folks who will greet you there, and they'll be glad to share a gift with you if you're here for the first time in person. If you're visiting for the first time virtually online, we'd like to ask you to complete the scrolling banner on our webpage that has a virtual visitor card so we could follow up with you as well. I'd love to connect you with our church, get connected with you, and tell you more about the ministries of our church. So thank you again for being here to worship Christ with us today. Just as a reminder, in case of inclement weather, we do try to post on our social media, Facebook, webpage, Twitter account, and also on WLOS by 8 o'clock on Sunday mornings at the latest, if there's going to be a change like we did this morning for virtual Sunday school. But thankfully, we're able to gather in person for worship as well. So please make note of that and check out those various communication outlets to know what's happening on a snowy Sunday. There's a book of the month that David Livenwa, chair of our Christian Education Committee, wanted me to highlight for you. It's a book I would recommend as well from our Christian Education Committee, Sinclair Ferguson's book, Devoted to God's Church, Core Values for Christian Fellowship. And it's a very timely book because we're beginning a series on the Church of Jesus Christ. So there are copies of this at the welcome table, and I would encourage you to check those out or order your own copy and read through it as we go through this series together. You see other announcements in your bulletin on page 8 about Hands of Faith meeting this Thursday. Valentine's Day is a great day to extend love, the love of Christ, to our homebound members through cards. So please see the Welcome Center for an up-to-date list of addresses. Celebration Sunday on page 9, the last Sunday of this month. We will celebrate God's faithfulness over the last several months through a pandemic, through an interim period of transition. And we will have a combined Sunday school that morning in the sanctuary that will be in person and also live streaming for ministry updates from our elders, deacons, and ministry staff about what God has been doing, where we hope to go in the coming months. So encourage you to attend that. And also, I'd like to invite you to my installation service that evening at 5:30, again in this very room, also live streaming. Dr. Rod Culbertson, professor of pastoral theology at Reformed Theological Seminary in Charlotte, will be our guest speaker. That's the reason why the installation has been delayed till the end of February, because he's booked until then. So we're grateful to have him join us. Also, just if you are watching with us virtually today, we will be celebrating the Lord's Supper. We're privileged to do that today in person, but because that's an in-person covenant meal that we share together in person, we will not stream the live service at that point. So just wanted to forewarn you if you're watching and you wonder why we disconnect you at that point. And we look forward to the time when we can celebrate the Lord's Supper in person together again as a church family. I believe all those are the announcements I wanted to highlight. If you'll notice also on the top of page 9, there's an announcement reminder about the virtual missions conference that James Buckner will come and share with us now.
Thank you, Dwight. February is a full month, right? We got all this celebration coming around at the end of the month, the update on what's happening here at Arden, but also celebrating God's call on Dwight to be our lead pastor. It's an exciting month, and some people even get excited on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know who those people are. But there's a Chinese New Year's, and there's Mardi Gras. There's all kinds of things happening in February. But what about the virtual missions conference? Have you signed up? How many of you signed up already? How many of you got your free workbook? Cade Beardsley sent me a text and said, James, that MTW had a lot of really nice swag. And I said, what's she talking about, swag? That's new vocabulary for me, but it's 3 little gifts. And if you even got a tea bag, you got something to look forward if you signed up before January 19th. A bookmark. Look at the workbook. Can you see it? Looks like a lot of work to do, doesn't it? It's so thin. But seriously, if you haven't signed up yet, do so today. Go to mtw.org/VMC, Virtual Missions Conference. That's right. And it's there. The information's in your bulletin. As well as we're going to send you a detailed outline of the time schedule. But for now, just remember, it's February 19th to 20th. On the 21st, Jeff Thompson will come and preach a missions message to us. And our theme is, His Story Continues. Despite the pandemic, the gospel is going throughout the world and reaching many lives. And I can't say enough what the Lord is going to do in this conference. Used to, we go to Atlanta and we hear all these plenary speakers, men who are being used in our denomination to forward the Great Commission. And there would be all these missionaries around and workshops. Well, it's all put together in this virtual missions conference for you. We'll send you an email with you can look at the description there. But if you'll go to that mtw.org/VMC and just go through each tab, you'll see what awaits. And I wrote them down here. 4 plenary speakers, 20 missionaries, and then you got this thing called Meet the Missionary. I don't know how many will be out there. That's like you're going to banquet tables, and here's all these different missionaries. You can get into a special little room. But missionaries are going to share their stories. There's even recipes something you can do at home with your kids. And by the way, kids, there are going to be 4 videos you can download and watch them anytime with your children. Yeah, I'm excited. But you know what's going to make this work for us as a body is if you register. I'm sorry, you might not get your tea bag bookmark, but I'll give you mine if you really want it. So register and let's celebrate. His story continues. That's February 19th through 20th. Reserve those dates. And it's basically in the evening, February the 19th. It's 7 to 9:30, and then in the morning from 9:30.
Thank you, James. I also wanted to mention that I'm so grateful for our deacons and all who have assisted in this morning. We're grateful for God's grace towards us to worship today. Let's stand together for our call to worship that's printed on page 2 of your order of service from Paul's letter to the church in Ephesus. You'll notice our worship theme in bold print there is Christ unites. And so Paul writes to